So you know how the pieces move, but you feel like your rating is just stuck in the mud. Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. We're going to build a really simple but powerful framework to help you start winning more games. And we're going to start right now.
Let's kick things off with a quote from arguably the greatest player of all time, Garry Kasparov. Now, he's talking about a world championship game here, and his decision to attack. It wasn't about calculating 50 moves ahead. Nope. It was based on a simple, overwhelming idea.
Sounds so simple when he says it, right? But how in the world do you actually get into a position where you have 7 pieces all aimed at the enemy king? For most of us, that feels kind of impossible. Well, that's the gap we're going to close today. And this is that classic plateau. You're way past the how does the knight move again stage, but you're just not seeing any real improvement. You play a couple of opening moves and then you're just lost. You're making it up as you go.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to break the game down into its 3 main phases, and then we'll wrap up with what I think is the single most important part, the mindset you actually need to improve.
Let's start right at the beginning. Look, the opening is not about memorizing 20 moves of some obscure theory. It's about setting the stage. It's about deciding what kind of game you want to play. So the very first thing you need to do is pick a style that fits who you are. Do you love chaos and sharp attacks? Or are you the kind of player who likes to build a solid, safe position and just slowly squeeze your opponent? Picking an opening that feels right to you is so key because you'll actually enjoy the game more, and the plans will just make sense. You know what? Forget all that complicated theory for a second. If you just follow these 3 golden rules, you will get a solid position pretty much every single time. 1, control the center of the board. 2, develop your pieces. That just means get your knights and bishops off the back rank and into the fight. And 3, get your king safe. Just castle. That's it. And on the flip side, following those rules means you'll avoid these common traps. Don't waste your precious time moving the same piece over and over. And please don't bring your queen out too early where she just becomes a target. Every single move you make has to have a purpose. All right, let's head into the middle game. This is the jungle. Your opening book is closed, and now you're totally on your own. For most of us, this is where the real confusion starts. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If you attack too early, your whole attack just fizzles out. But if you wait too long, your opponent gets all their defenses set up. Timing is absolutely everything. So, here's a super simple checklist to run through in your head before you decide to go for it, before you launch a big attack. If you can say yes to at least 2 of these questions, especially that first one, then you're probably in a great spot to attack. That's the Kasparov principle, right there in action. Now, a huge part of attacking is finding targets, and the best targets are often these things called weak squares. See, once you push a pawn, it can't go backward. That means it can leave a square behind it that can never be defended by a pawn again. That's like putting a big kick me sign on that square, and it's where you want to put your pieces. And please, remember this. Lone wolf attacks almost never work in chess. You need coordination. A single knight hopping around can be annoying, sure. A bishop can be scary. But a knight and a bishop and a rook and a queen all working together, that's how you deliver checkmate. Before you go hunting for some brilliant flashy move, look at this number, 3. That's the value of a whole knight or a bishop. The truth is, at the club level, games aren't won by who finds the best move, they're won by who makes the last huge mistake. Your number 1 job is just to not be that person. Okay, you've survived the chaos of the middle game, you've traded off a bunch of pieces. Welcome to the endgame. The whole feel of the game completely changes here. It's less about wild attacks and more about ice-cold precision. This is a massive mental shift. For the entire game, you've been hiding your king in a corner. But now, with fewer pieces on the board, the king becomes a monster. It's a powerful fighting piece, so use it. Bring it into the center and get it into the action. This right here shows the life story of the endgame's biggest superstar, the passed pawn. It's just a pawn that has a clear runway to the other side of the board. It is an existential threat that can single-handedly win you the game if you just support it correctly. And this is the idea that connects everything together. When you're in that messy middle game, you should be asking yourself, how can I trade pieces in a way that gives me a passed pawn? Or how can I mess up their pawn structure so my endgame will be better? Your middle game plan should lead to an endgame that you actually know how to win. All right, on to our final and honestly most important section. You can know all the strategy in the world, but it won't help you one bit
without the right mindset and the right study habits. If you take only one single thing away from our time together, please make it this. Before you even think about what you're going to do, force yourself to look at your opponent's last move and ask, what are they trying to do? What's the threat? This one habit will cut your blunders in half, I promise. So, how should you actually spend your study time? Here's a simple guide. Most beginners spend way too much time on openings. Your real focus should be on solving tactics puzzles for the middle game and learning the basic endgame patterns. That is where you will see the biggest bang for your buck.
So let's put it all together. Here is your 4-point action plan. First, build a simple opening you can play every time. Second, focus on tactics so you stop hanging pieces and you start seeing when they hang theirs. Third, learn the most critical endgame patterns. And finally, play longer games, at least 15 minutes with a 10-second bonus per move, so you actually have time to think. This is your path forward. You now have a framework for all 3 phases of the game. You have a clear plan for how to actually get better. The theory part is over. Now it's time to play. So the pieces are set. What's your next move?